There is a man I want you to picture. He walks into a room, not loudly, not with the frantic energy of someone trying to be noticed. He moves slowly, deliberately. His shoulders are relaxed. His eyes don't dart around looking for approval. He orders his drink without asking the bartender twice, and without doing a single extraordinary thing, 3 women in that room have already looked at him. Not through him, at him. That man is 61 years old, and he has absolutely no idea that any of this is happening. That is the paradox I want to talk to you about today. Because if you are a man in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, you may carry a quiet fear that the world has started to look past you, that younger men are louder, faster, more visible, that the signals women once sent you have gone silent. I am here to tell you that the signals have not gone silent. You have simply not been taught how to read them, and what I am about to share with you is not a collection of dating tips. This is pattern recognition, rooted in decades of psychological research, the kind of work that Esther Perel has built her entire career on, the same principles Joe Navarro spent 30 years developing at the FBI, reading human behavior down to the micro-expression. Because attraction, at its foundation, is not social. It is biological. It is ancient. And the most primal parts of a woman's psychology do not respond to youth. They respond to presence, to calibration, to the unmistakable signal that you are a man who has already been through the fire and came out knowing who he is. That is your advantage, and most men your age are leaving it completely untouched. Today we are going to go through 7 hidden signals that women give older men, signals most men miss entirely because they are looking for the obvious when the real communication is happening just beneath the surface. We are going to go through all 7, but I need to warn you right now. Signal number 4 is the one that surprises men the most. I have shared this with thousands of men, and number 4 consistently stops them cold. So stay with me through the whole list, because if you skip ahead, you will miss the context that makes number 4 make sense. Let us begin. Signal 1. She slows her speech when she talks to you. Here is the mistake men make. A woman starts talking to you and her voice softens, her sentences become a little longer, her pace drops, and you interpret this as nervousness, or worse, you don't interpret it at all. You keep the conversation moving at your pace. You answer quickly. You fill every silence. Here is the psychological translation. When a woman slows her speech around a man, she is unconsciously synchronizing with him. She is matching what her nervous system perceives as his frequency. This is called limbic resonance. Her emotional brain is attempting to merge rhythms with yours. It is one of the earliest, most overlooked signals of genuine interest. She is not nervous. She is drawn in. The actionable fix is simple and powerful. When you notice this shift, do not speed up to fill the space. Slow down even further. Take a breath before you respond, a slow, audible exhale through your nose. Let there be 2, maybe 3 seconds of comfortable silence. What you are communicating without a single word is this: I am not in a hurry. I am not anxious to impress you. I am here. That signal reaches parts of her psychology that no pickup line ever could. Signal 2. She finds small reasons to extend the interaction. The mistake here is what I call the exit blindness. A conversation reaches a natural conclusion. You have said what you needed to say. She has too. And she says something like, "Oh, before you go," or she asks a question that does not really need answering, or she comments on something peripheral, something that has nothing to do with what you were just talking about. And you answer the surface question and move on. The translation? She is not asking about your watch, or the book under your arm, or what neighborhood you live in. She is buying time. Her subconscious calculation is running quietly in the background. Is this man safe? Is this man interesting? Do I want more of this? And the comment about your watch is simply the thing her conscious mind grabbed because it needed an excuse. The fix. Recognize the extension for what it is. Lean into it without leaping at it. Answer the surface question, and then do something that signals you are in no rush. Look at her directly and say, without urgency, "I'm curious about something." Then ask a genuine question, not a flattering one, a real one, something she has to actually think about. You are not chasing the conversation, you are deepening it. That distinction is everything. Signal 3. She mirrors your stillness, not your movement. Here is where most men get this backwards. They hear about mirroring, the idea that people copy the body language of those they are attracted to, and they start watching to see if a woman copies their gestures. She touches her hair after I touch mine. She crosses her legs when I cross mine. And sometimes that is true. But for older men, the more profound signal is stillness mirroring. When you become calm, when you lower your energy rather than raise it, and she follows, her fidgeting stops, her shoulders drop, her breathing visibly slows. That is not imitation. That is surrender. Her nervous system has decided yours is safe to match. The mistake men make is that they keep raising their energy, telling better stories, trying to generate momentum, and in doing so, they break the spell. The fix. Practice becoming quieter at exactly the moment most men become louder. When a conversation is going well, resist the urge to top the last thing you said. Let the good moment sit. Be still in it. Watch what she does in that stillness. What you will often see is a biological symphony, two nervous systems finding a shared rhythm without a single word being exchanged. Signal 4. She challenges you. I told you this one would stop you. Because every instinct in a man's social conditioning tells him that challenge is rejection. A woman pushes back on something you said. She disagrees with you. She teases you. She tests an opinion you've expressed. And the average man either collapses, suddenly agreeing with everything she says, or he becomes defensive, doubling down with too much force. Here is the real translation, and I need you to hear this clearly. A woman who does not challenge you is not interested in you. She is being polite. Challenge is intimacy in disguise. When a woman pushes back on a man she is drawn to, she is doing something extraordinarily vulnerable. She is showing you her real mind. She is engaging with you, not performing for you. She is asking, without asking, whether you are solid, whether you will still be you when she applies a little pressure. This is what Joe Navarro would call a congruence test, and it is one of the most direct invitations to real connection that a woman can extend. The fix. When she challenges you, do not move. Do not agree reflexively, and do not argue defensively. Hold your position with warmth. Smile slightly. Say, "I hear that. I just don't see it that way." Then explain why, calmly, without needing her to agree. What you are demonstrating is psychological exposure without psychological collapse. You are showing her that you can be seen, really seen, and remain standing. That is the masculine quality that women who are past their own psychological childhood are most deeply drawn to. That is sexual polarity in its most mature form. Not dominance, not aggression, rootedness. Signal 5. She mentions her schedule, but not to push you away. The mistake. A woman says something like, "I've been so busy lately," or "I don't really have much time for anything right now." And the man hears, "She's not available. She's not interested. She's telling me no in advance." And so he backs off, and she wonders why he disappeared. The translation. Women, particularly women who have been hurt, who have learned that being openly available makes them vulnerable, often test a man's pursuit by preemptively announcing their busyness. It is not a rejection, it is a drawbridge. She is waiting to see if you will cross the moat anyway, not desperately, not obliviously, but with the quiet confidence of a man who is certain enough of his own worth to not be deterred by a test. The fix is a phrase, and I want you to remember it. When she mentions her busy schedule, you say, with a calm smile, "That's fine. I'm not asking for your schedule. I'm asking if you'd like to continue this conversation." Then you be silent. Let her answer. What you have just communicated is that you are not intimidated by mild resistance, and you are not going to disappear at the first sign of friction. That is the signal she was actually looking for when she mentioned how busy she was. Signal 6. She brings up other men, but watches for your reaction. This is perhaps the most misread signal of all, and it triggers the most destructive responses. A woman mentions her ex, or a male colleague, or a man who asked for her number last week, and the man she is with either visibly tightens, jaw, posture, tone, or he performs exaggerated indifference, pretending he did not even hear it. The translation. In most cases, not all, but most, this is not a provocation. It is information gathering. Her subconscious calculation is asking, how does this man handle emotional complexity? Does he get territorial? Does he get insecure? Does he need me to manage his feelings? Because a woman who has lived enough life to be drawn to a mature man is not looking for someone who needs her emotional labor. She is looking for someone who is secure enough to hear the complexity of her life without needing to simplify it. The fix. Respond to mentions of other men the way a psychologically grounded person responds to anything outside their control, with genuine curiosity rather than emotional reaction. Ask a real question about the story she's telling. Engage with the content, not the subtext. What you are showing her is that you feel safe, seen, and cherished in your own skin, and that you extend that feeling to her. That is the atmosphere she is hoping to find, and men who can provide that atmosphere are extraordinarily rare. Signal 7. She goes quiet in a specific way. Not every silence from a woman is discomfort. There is a particular quality of silence, when she looks at you for a moment longer than necessary, when she does not fill the quiet with chatter, when her eyes soften. That is not withdrawal. It is absorption. She is taking you in. The mistake. Men rush to fill this silence. They crack a joke. They ask another question. They interpret quiet as awkwardness and scramble to fix it. The translation. This silence is one of the most intimate moments that can exist between two people who are still fully clothed and completely in public. She has, for just a moment, let her performance drop. She is not managing the impression she is making on you. She is just present with you. That is extraordinarily rare, and it is entirely fragile. The fix. Do not break it. Hold the silence with her. Let your eyes be warm, not searching. Breathe slowly. If words come, let them be few. Something like, I know, said simply, said quietly. Those two words, delivered without explanation, communicate something that paragraphs cannot. I see you. Not just the version you show people. I see the real one. That is the moment when attraction stops being biological and becomes something else entirely. Now, here is what I need you to understand about everything I have just shared with you. None of these signals mean anything if you cannot read yourself first. Women are emotional lie detectors. This is not a metaphor. The human nervous system is wired to detect incongruence, the mismatch between what a person says and what their body communicates. And women, through a combination of evolution and socialization, are measurably more sensitive to this incongruence than men. She will not consciously know she is reading you, but she will feel it. She will feel the gap between your performed confidence and your actual anxiety. She will feel the distance between your words of security and your eyes that are still scanning for her approval. This is why everything I have described today requires one foundational thing. You must actually become the man you are attempting to signal that you are. Not perfectly, not immediately, but directionally, moving toward your own authority, inhabiting your own life. Because the most irresistible thing a mature man can offer a woman is not his resources, not his experience, not even his time. It is his congruence, the rare magnetic quality of a man whose inside matches his outside. Sexual polarity is not about performance. It is about the masculine force that takes initiative from a place of wholeness rather than hunger. When a woman senses that a man wants her, but does not need her, that he will pursue her, but will not collapse without her, something ancient and biological moves in her. That is not manipulation. That is simply what it feels like to be in the presence of a man who has done his inner work. You are capable of that. The men who watch videos like this one usually are. Because you are still asking the questions. You are still willing to look at yourself honestly. And that quality, more than youth, more than looks, more than anything a younger man has, that is the thing that makes you extraordinary. Before I tell you what comes next, I want to ask you something. Of the 7 signals we covered today, which one surprised you most? Leave a comment below with the word cherish, just that one word, and it will tell me 2 things: that you made it to the end of this, and that you are the kind of man this content is actually for. The kind of man who pays attention. Those are the men I make these videos for. And I want you to know something. What we covered today is only half of the equation. You can now read the signals. You can now understand what she is communicating in the silence, in the challenge, in the slowness of her speech. But reading is not enough. The next step is physical, and I do not mean what you think I mean. In the next video, we go into something almost no one talks about: how to use touch, slow, intentional, deeply meaningful touch, to communicate everything we discussed today without a single word. How a hug, when done with full masculine presence, can make a woman feel more safe, seen, and cherished than any conversation you have ever had. That video is waiting for you. Do not let this one be where you stop.